pastured eggs, pastured beef, bison, pastured lamb, wild-caught salmon, sardines, mackerel, anchovies, herring. That is generally the best forms of protein for your brain and the cleanest ones. Are they perfect? No.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Wendy Myers. Welcome to the Myers Detox podcast. Today on the show, we have my friend Robert Love. He is known on TikTok and Instagram as your go-to guy for Alzheimer's and how to reverse Alzheimer's. He has a wealth of knowledge on this topic. Robert is going to talk to us about what causes Alzheimer's, the toxins that cause Alzheimer's, what you can do as far as your diet and exercise and lifestyle to prevent Alzheimer's, and what you can do in the hope to reverse Alzheimer's, what that entails, how to detox your body, and the best supplements to dramatically improve your brain health. So a fantastic show. You got to tune in. Our guest, Robert Love, is one of the most watched neuroscientists on the planet with over 500 million views. And his work has appeared in Newsweek, the Daily Mail UK, Fox, NBC, and ABC News. He specializes in helping people prevent Alzheimer's disease with science. And he has over 3 million followers on social media. And you can check out his website at roarlionsmane.com. Robert, thank you so much for coming on the show.
It's an honor to be here, Wendy. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I did TikTok live with you, and it was so much fun. You have so many followers on TikTok and on Instagram. It's just crazy. You're an expert on Alzheimer's, and that's where your total focus is. And it's such a huge, huge problem. And I talked about this on my Heavy docu-series, and losing our brain function, I think, is a big concern for a lot of people, obviously. So tell us what got you started in this and so passionate about educating people about Alzheimer's.
So I had two grandparents with dementia, two grandfathers. One had Alzheimer's disease. The other had dementia unspecified, which we think was probably caused by his exposure to dry cleaning chemicals. His father left home when he was just in middle school, and he had to leave school and start working to help support his mother and his family. And he started working in the dry cleaning business very young. And so I saw firsthand what it was like. What it was like for my parents to see them lose their parents. And I experienced what that was like to lose a loved one. I didn't know my dad's father very well. He wasn't even verbal by the time I have memories of him, so I never got to have a conversation with him. My mother's father, I got to know him very well, actually wear his ring. She gave this to me. She wore this for years. She gave this to me Christmas Day 2 years ago. And I like to think of him when I do my work, because the work that I do, which is helping people prevent Alzheimer's disease, it really goes back to my family, and I want to make a difference so other people don't lose their grandparents and their parents. About 5 years ago, I went to visit my parents in Cincinnati, Ohio. My mother was having back surgery, and I was going to stay for a few weeks to help around the house. So because she wasn't going to be very mobile. And it was at this time I noticed my parents really had poor memory. It was very concerning. So much so that I decided to stay longer and help them adjust their lifestyle, specifically reducing sugar and reducing environmental toxins, mostly in their food, and really trying to get them on the path towards improving their memory so that way they wouldn't get dementia, because they both had parents with dementia, and I was very concerned. It was at that point I switched my focus. At the time I was working with clients with attention deficit disorder for parents and children. At the time I switched my focus from ADHD to Alzheimer's prevention. And that was about 5 years ago. And I really got into the research, and I found that there's so many things, Wendy, that we can do that are backed by science that can help people not only prevent Alzheimer's disease, but even reverse memory loss associated with Alzheimer's disease. A book just came out recently called Reversing Alzheimer's by Dr. Heather Sanderson. She's reversed dementia and reversed memory loss in her clinical practice. She's published the data in the top journal in the field, the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease, and then she published this book. So there's so much people can do, which is not the story that we've heard for decades. My parents heard there's nothing you can do for Alzheimer's disease, and that's just simply not true. It's not true according to the current science.
That is a bunch of nonsense. There's always something you can do. You're just limited by your doctor's toolkit. So just be very cautious of that. And in Alzheimer's is largely preventable. I think people need to know
Absolutely.
that there's a lot of environmental factors that contribute. It's not just genetic. There's always a genetic component, but for the most part, it's totally preventable. Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. And I fully agree with you. I'd say about 80% of Alzheimer's disease is preventable with lifestyle. So, 80% of the ball is in our court. Let's say 20% is genetics. That varies based upon the person, but across people overall, 80% of this is in your control, which is really, really good. So some of the basic things, which the good news is the things that are helpful for preventing Alzheimer's disease are also great for optimal health. So by doing these things, not only do you improve your brain, improve your memory, and reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease, you also get healthier and you feel better. You feel younger. Your skin looks better. Oh my gosh, so many great things. So let's start with the free ones. Let's start with one of the most enjoyable. One of the most enjoyable is sleep. Sleep is so very, very important for our brain. Sleep is when we wire up new memories. Sleep is when we get a literal brain washing. We have what's called the glymphatic system. This was discovered recently in neuroscience. When we sleep, cerebral spinal fluid washes into the brain and basically helps cleanse out toxins that have accumulated over the day, including amyloid plaque, which is one of the hallmark signs of Alzheimer's disease. So if you don't sleep for 24 hours and you were to measure amyloid plaque in your body, it's going to be higher than if you had slept. So just one night of bad sleep increases the accumulation of plaque in the brain. So that's a darn big deal. And sleep is so gosh darn enjoyable. And it's good for every cell of your body. So that's a great place to start. Plus, sleep is a money saver because you're not eating, you're not doing things to consume, and you make better decisions. I don't know about you, Wendy, but for me, when I don't sleep, my decision-making is reduced substantially. I tell people in my business, I'll say, look, hey, I didn't sleep well last night for whatever reason. Don't let me make any big decisions. And if I do, question them and let's put them on hold, right? Because I don't want to screw something up those days. I notice that. I try not to drive the days that if it didn't sleep well, because I know my reaction time is reduced. And so by sleeping, you improve the quality of decisions in your life, which is one of the best things you can do for your health. If you're in business, if you work a job for wages, better decisions are one of the most valuable things that we bring to any type of work that we do.
Plus, your blood sugar is going to be higher as well. I definitely will eat more the day after I don't get a good night's sleep. And can you talk about that? How,
Oh my
dementia
gosh, I
is.
definitely crave sugar and fat the days I don't sleep. Isn't it fascinating? And so this is one reason why good sleep is essential. It is required for weight loss, for sustainable weight loss. I mean, you can lose weight by staying up all night, drinking coffee, and not eating food, but that's not sustainable weight loss. Most people want sustainable weight loss. So sleep is essential for sustainable weight loss because if you don't sleep, our body goes into survival mode. And so if you think back 20,000 years ago or 50,000 years ago, our ancestors, when they're in survival mode, what does that mean? That means food's probably going to be scarce and we better store fat. And we actually might be being attacked by a predator or a rival tribe. And so we better be kind of a little bit stressed, hypervigilant, and we better be on the move. And so if food's going to be scarce, what do? Well, we want to store fat because we're thinking, oh my gosh, at any time food supply might be shut off. So we're consuming a lot of food the days that we don't sleep well the next day because our body's actually wanting to store fat. And it'll cling to fat. It won't release the fat. So even if you're in a calorie deficit that day, it's very hard to lose weight if you didn't sleep the night before because your body is like clinging on to the fat because it says, no, we're in survival mode. I want this fat because food might be shut off. If I didn't sleep well last night, the world is kind of topsy-turvy. It's uncertain times. And so the body is now preparing itself for a potential emergency, which is a lack of food and a lack of stability. And then I don't know what specifically happens to metabolism, but that's kind of like the psychological evolutionary mechanism that's at play, or at least one of them that's at play.
Yeah, and let's talk about toxins and let's talk about like heavy metals as well. How do those contribute to Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia?
Yeah, that's a great question, and this is so underdiagnosed by medical practitioners because they're not educated on molds and heavy metals and environmental toxins. Unfortunately, it seems to me that many medical practitioners are basically educated in giving patients drugs rather than lifestyle and diet, and very few on environmental toxins. Though there are many good medical practitioners, those that are talking about mold and heavy metals and environmental toxins, God bless you, please continue the good work. But we're finding out more and more that our environmental toxins are affecting our overall health, including our brain health. Dissection studies of patients with Alzheimer's disease found two striking things. Number one, brains of Alzheimer's patients had more aluminum than healthy brains. And so aluminum is a risk factor. This can be from, think of your aluminum exposure. This could be from pots and pans. If you work in the aluminum industry, you could be exposed there. Skincare products like antiperspirant. I think especially women who shave their armpits and use antiperspirants. I think they're much more susceptible than men who often don't shave their armpits. I think they have a lot more skin contact. So I think that's a very big concern for women. And women are twice as likely to get Alzheimer's disease as men. Women are 66% of the cases. Men are about 33%. Men are more likely to get Parkinson's disease. Women much more likely to get Alzheimer's disease. So that's one. And then the other finding of this study was that brains of Alzheimer's patients had a deficiency in magnesium. And as you know, magnesium is so important for the brain and overall body. Magnesium is used in over 300 enzymatic processes in your body, from brain health to bone health to energy to the immune system. So many important factors. And so a deficiency in magnesium is another risk factor. So aluminum, that's a potential contaminant. And then, of course, the heavy metals, lead, arsenic, mercury. We're finding out cadmium is dangerous. And so these metals, our ancestors didn't evolve being exposed to the level of pollution that we're in. We live in a very advanced world and, unfortunately, a highly toxic world. It's a very strange time to be alive, where we have massive amounts of technology. You and I are having this conversation essentially for free, using virtual technology, which is really cool. And at the same time, our air really isn't clean, and our water is not safe to drink in the United States. Most cities in the United States add fluoride to their water, which is not good for a variety of things in our body, including our thyroid. It's not good for our pineal gland. There's many negative things associated with consuming fluoride. And that's just one thing. My hometown, Cincinnati, Ohio, there was recently an article in the Cincinnati Enquirer saying that heavy metals were in the water, specifically forever chemicals. In the school district where I went to school, Indian Hill, it said forever chemicals very high in Indian Hill water. And I went to my parents. I said, look at this. You got to tell all your friends who live in Indian Hill not to drink the tap water. Who knows how long this has been going on, and who knows when they're going to get it cleaned up. And so I really highly recommend an air filter, like a HEPA filter, or the best quality air filter you can afford, certainly in your bedroom or your office, or both, and drinking distilled water or reverse osmosis water. Another neurotoxic chemical we're exposed to that's getting worse and worse is glyphosate. We have no idea the impact of glyphosate long-term. Some court cases are coming out where people have increased risk of cancer. Certainly, there's going to be an increased risk of neurodegenerative diseases. But we just don't know what the impact of glyphosate is, because it's pervasive. It's in our food. It's in our water. It's in our water because it's in rainwater. If it's in rainwater, it's pretty much everywhere. So unless you're very, very health conscious and you're drinking only reverse osmosis or distilled water pretty much all the time, you're not drinking packaged and processed drinks, you're not eating packaged and processed foods, you're very careful about everything, you're 100% gluten-free, it's going to be I probably have glyphosate in my body, and I'm very careful. And so we don't know the long-term impact of glyphosate. Very, as certain as I can be about anything in science, it's not good for you. It's likely bad to very bad, depending upon your exposure and severity. And it's very difficult to get free of exposure to it. And so these are some of the toxins in our environment that are negatively impacting our brain health and very likely increasing the risk of Alzheimer's disease later in life.
So for anyone listening that really wants to detox their body, go to heavymetalsquiz.com. I created a quiz for you. It only takes a couple of seconds. Based on some lifestyle questions, you can get your toxicity score and get a free video series that answers all of your frequently asked questions about how to detox your body. Check it out, heavymetalsquiz.com. It's so important to detox to prevent Alzheimer's. I can't emphasize that enough. You've got to get this garbage out of your body that's, obviously impacting your brain in many, many different ways. But let's talk about diet. So diet is super, super important. Controlling your blood sugar levels as well. What kind of diet do you recommend?
Yeah, absolutely. But first, can we? I'd love to hear your thoughts on the best method for detox.
Oh, yes.
You're one of the world's leading experts in detox. I want to bring something back to my followers and those who are watching this. What are your favorite methods for detoxing heavy metals and molds and potentially glyphosate and forever chemicals?
Yeah, so my favorite methods for detoxification are supplements, like taking minerals are super important. I put sea salt in all the water that I drink to massively improve hydration and to mineralize my body and
Is
brain.
that Celtic sea salt?
I actually have a collection of salts. So any kind of sea salt is great because it
And how
matches
and
all.
how much are you doing? Like in a gallon?
I put as much as I can tolerate. So even if it tastes like seawater, it's fine. You're deficient, so you need it. So it's fine. Even if it tastes like seawater, you're still good. But I can't even tolerate water now without salt in it because you just don't hold on to it if you don't hold on to water if you don't have enough sea salt in your body or minerals in your body. And magnesium, super important for detoxification, all the detox processes in your body, doing infrared saunas amazing, sweating, it tested, tried and true, and ionic foot baths. I love healthandmed.com foot
Is
baths,
that the ionic foot bath? Health
the
and Med?
ionic foot bath. Yes, those are
Can you talk a little bit about that?
unbelievable.
That's such
Yes,
a interesting piece of technology that so few people know about.
yes. I mean, they're incredible. I do them. I had a few years ago where I did about 200 hours of the foot baths. I took a little break from them, started doing them again a few months ago, and my foot baths were just disgusting. It's just there's so much stuff that comes out into the foot bath, and not just, fat soluble toxins, heavy metals, radiation, just a lot of pesticides, a lot of stuff is coming out. The perms you got in the 80s, all that stuff is going to come
My
out.
gosh, can you believe that we thought it was a good idea to put like chemicals that permanently structure a woman's hair and so close to her head and her face and her nose and her breathing and her eyes, like all our there's so many openings on our head.
Yeah,
And
well,
then
we're still doing it. We're the Brazilian blowouts that straighten your hair are full of formaldehyde, and the hair coloring is shown to cause bladder cancers.
oh
It's
my
just
gosh.
there's a lot of stuff we're doing that is just really problematic. But even if you don't do any of that stuff, you're still getting stuff in the air, food, and water. So
Now, why are foot baths? Why is that a way to detox? Why is that a pathway for getting rid of toxins?
yes, well, you have about 4,000 pores in your feet, and when you're putting ions into the water, which have a certain charge, which will latch on to heavy metals and pesticides and take them out of the body. And that's what it's all about when you're taking supplements, no matter what you're doing. It's all about putting ions into your body or certain substances in your body that have a certain charge that attract to and latch onto heavy metals and chemicals. And they have different, it's called valence. And they have a +1, a +2, a +3, depending on what pesticide or heavy metal it is. And different valences have different substances that attract that. So foot baths kind of tap into that whole, chemistry and help to pull these toxins out. And you can see it in the foot bath. I mean, it's just, I can show you. I just did a webinar on this where we had a doctor on that's worked about 1,800 patients and showing us all kinds of foot baths. And, I started doing mine. They were just really black and just really gross. My boyfriend's, his were like dark green. He's never done a detox in his life, which is, but he's finally, doing all this stuff and going, wow, I can't believe I never, had never done this before. But yeah, the foot baths are really an amazing, easy way to detox.
You've mentioned those before. I'm gonna give that a try. I want to see what my foot baths look like. One thing that surprising to me was when I started soaking my almonds and my walnuts, was how much stuff was coming off them. So Dr. Stephen Gundry talks about the lectins, which are
Yeah.
plant defenses, which cause low levels of inflammation. Inflammation is one of the primary risk factors of Alzheimer's disease. And so I'm like, okay, I got to soak my almonds, I got to soak my walnuts, because I want to reduce those. And then looking at the water after soaking them was so dark. And I thought, oh my gosh, like this is really taking out a lot of things that are potentially harmful to my body and to my brain.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, I don't think everyone's sensitive to lectins, but yeah, they're certainly, if you can mitigate those, certainly is really important for sure. Yeah, but some people are very sensitive to them, other people aren't. But why not remove them if you can?
Yeah, it's interesting to me as I've gotten you've gone gluten free and then sugar free and then dairy free, how sensitive my body has become. So I mean, now if I have a glass of alcohol, I will feel that likely the next day. And I drank, unhealthy amounts in college and so forth. So I used to totally put a lot of toxins in my body and eat whatever I wanted to for such a long period of time. And then once I clean it up, now I'm like pretty sensitive, which I think is an indication of just how far we've gone from our natural state, right? Our natural state is eating organic vegetables, some fruits, and occasionally meat, and then spending a lot of time outside, barefoot on the grass, exercising a lot. This is what our ancestors did for 100,000 years. By the way, great book *Sapiens* describes the history of human beings from 100,000 years ago until recently, and we lived a very interesting life out when we were outdoors. And now we have so many toxins in our environment, so many toxins in our food. So much of it isn't even food. It's chemicals. It's chemicals that are extremely palatable, very addictive, and actually take nutrition from us. I read a book on sugar years ago. I can't find it anymore. That talked about how sugar depletes the body of magnesium. Sugar, like refined sugar, depletes the body of magnesium. And someone went to the sugar company and said, you can fix this by just adding magnesium to the sugar and it won't be that harmful. And they didn't do it. That would be such an easy fix. Like magnesium at a large level costs next to nothing, right? And build that into the price, increase the price 2 cents per pound. That way it doesn't hurt people's magnesium levels. These simple things could have been done. And this was fascinating. In Europe, beer was safer to drink than water because water was unclean. And so pregnant women would drink beer. That was safer for them. One beer company was found to be putting sugar in their beer. And basically the regulatory agency and like the community said, no, you can't do this because pregnant women are drinking this. They were more concerned about the pregnant women eating the sugar than they were the alcohol. How far we've hilarious, right? How far we've come. And no one that I'm aware of is very publicly saying like pregnant women should not be eating refined sugar, that's a really bad idea. Clearly it's a very bad idea. Yeah. But no one's blowing that trumpet. But a lot of people are talking about alcohol, but sugar it's depleting nutrition. Imagine what that's doing to the mother's body, potentially her bones, the developing baby inside. Really concerning. Another toxin, I've been getting a lot of flack for this because quote unquote experts in the field don't like it when people from outside the field comment on this. I'm sure you've experienced this, is skincare, specifically sunscreens. So I've made a couple of viral videos with over 1 million views talking about the toxic chemicals in sunscreens. And dermatologists and skin formulators get all bent out of shape about it. It's concerning to me that these people who theoretically are trying to work for our overall health, they're totally fine recommending products that are hormone disruptors. There are sunscreen ingredients that are forbidden in Hawaii because they kill coral. Those sunscreens are. My parents live in Cincinnati, Ohio. My nephews are going to visit this summer. My nephews are allowed to swim in a pool where people are putting on these same sunscreens that kill coral. Well, that's going to get into their skin in all likelihood. What's that doing to them? What's that doing to their hormones? Probably not good things. And some of these hormone disrupting chemicals from sunscreen have been found in amniotic fluid. They are actually coming into contact with the baby's environment. What is this doing to developing babies? We don't know. People really aren't doing the research. No one's excited to do this research because at best it's neutral. In all likelihood, it's probably having some negative impact. And things that negatively impact developing babies, we as a society are really not happy with. We're very upset by those things. And so no one's really looking at this. But I've made a couple of videos on the importance of looking at your sunscreen and avoiding toxic chemicals in sunscreen. Basically anything that's not zinc or titanium, you don't want. It's a chemical and it's likely it's a potential hormone disruptor. And if you're pregnant or nursing, it could be affecting your baby. And we just don't know. The research is not being done. Zinc and titanium work great. They are safe, at least the safest things we have right now if you want to wear sunscreen. And so please avoid all chemical sunscreens. And any dermatologist or anybody who's recommending chemical sunscreens, they're also called organic sunscreens, which I find to be Orwellian doublespeak. It's like the Patriot Act was the most unpatriotic thing ever. It allowed for widespread spying on the American people, which is clearly unconstitutional. Meanwhile, the organic sunscreens are chemical sunscreens. They say it's organic because, it's an organic molecule with carbon in it. That's what organic means in chemistry. But people think organic is healthy. These sunscreens are not healthy. They are dangerous. They are chemical sunscreens with hormone disrupting chemicals that can potentially affect developing babies. And I think that is extremely irresponsible. And I want to empower people, first of all, to do your own research, to question authority, question everything I say, research it back, like research what I'm saying, so that way you understand it. And then if people tell you, give your baby fluoride, I get this. Still, people are telling me their doctor told them to give their baby fluoride drops. That's from the 1970s at best.
Yeah.
That is way old. That is a very, very bad idea. Please don't do that. And so please question these quote unquote medical authorities or people, medical practitioners are seeing and saying, are you familiar with the current science? Are you familiar with the fact that many chemicals in sunscreen can disrupt hormones? Are you aware that some have been found in amniotic fluid? Many of them don't know, and many of them don't warn their patients. So please, as you are responsible for your health, and not me, and then not the medical system, you are responsible for your health. Please do your research and use information from Wendy's podcast to empower yourself to make the right decisions to protect yourself from so many of these environmental chemicals.
And so, yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't put on sunscreen unless I'm going to be in the sun more than an hour. We need sun. We need sun for our brain to make energy, et cetera. And so let's go back to diet. So are you into like the keto diet, carnivore? Like what's like a good brain health diet?
The general shortcut is, for all of you out there, the general shortcut is a diet that you like, that you're going to be happy eating for the rest of your life, that is mostly organic fruits, or we'll start at the top, organic vegetables, organic fruits, and then healthy forms of protein. Healthy forms of protein can be plant protein, or they can be healthy animal protein like pastured eggs, pastured beef, bison, pastured lamb, wild-caught salmon, sardines, mackerel, anchovies, herring. That is generally the best forms of protein for your brain, and the cleanest ones. Are they perfect? No. They're pretty good as of right now. And then lots of organic vegetables, lots of organic fruits, and basically very few to no processed and packaged foods, very few to no refined sugars, and then limit or avoid dairy. I found that's been really helpful to me. That's not true for everyone, but that's true for a lot of people. And gluten-free and essentially grain-free, because a lot of these grains have glyphosate in them, and a lot of them, most people are sensitive to gluten either mildly or a lot. Gluten causes low levels of inflammation in pretty much everybody. Maybe not everyone's gluten intolerant, so you don't get a bunch of hives, you don't have celiac disease, but most of us, right? Wheat has only been around for the human species for like 10,000 years, maybe 11,000. But we've been eating fruits and vegetables and meat for 100,000 years. And so most of us are not equipped to be digesting grains very effectively. And so just the simple shortcut is vegetables you like, fruits you like, organic fruits and vegetables, and then a healthy form of protein, and basically no to everything else. That is the general thing that's good for most people. Now, so I went to culinary school between college and graduate school because I knew that I wanted to learn how to cook. Plus, my mother made it very clear to me. She said, Robert, well, I was Robbie growing up. She said, Robbie, women love a man who can cook. And so you probably want to learn how to cook. And so I thank my mother for my cooking skills, because I knew this was going to be important. And I'm amazed that we don't teach cooking to everybody, because food is something that every human being consumes almost every day. We don't want to include one course on this in high school. Really? What are we teaching people that's more valuable than food, how to understand food and how to prepare food so it's healthy and it tastes good? I don't know, but somehow this has been left out of the mainstream curriculum at every single level, either by design or ignorance, but it's fascinating to me.
I want to give thanks to one of our sponsors, Caramel Collagen by Everbella. So collagen, as you know, is a very vital building block for our skin, our hair, our nails, our joints, and our bones. But starting in our 30s, our collagen levels start plummeting. They start going on the decline. And, we need collagen to prevent sagging and to give us that plump, youthful look, that glow. And what you may not know is that most collagen supplements, they're full of toxins and fillers like glyphosate, like arsenic and other heavy metals. that actually disrupt your body's ability to regenerate collagen altogether. And that's why I love Caramel Collagen by Everbella. Not only is it rigorously tested to be free of toxic metals, it uses a unique liposomal delivery technology to improve absorption. And it's absolutely delicious. I love taking this. I put it in my coffee in the mornings. And so right now you can try Everbella's Caramel Collagen for 30% off. Just head over to everbella.com and use code Wendy30 to get your discount. My biggest concern about, not cooking at home or not knowing how to cook is if you eat out, you're getting the industrial seed oils. Can you talk about that and how that affects our brain? Because I think that is just devastating to our brain. And we're eating it every single day. Every time you go out to eat, it's so hard to avoid.
Yeah, it's really, we don't know what's in our food when we go out to eat. My father said a fascinating thing to me. He said, I was like, Dad, you can't order that. It's not going to be healthy for you. He said, Robert, I expect to be poisoned a little bit when I go out. And I said, Dad, that's astounding to me. And so some people are okay being poisoned a little bit when they go out. And so I do go out to eat. I bring my own dessert when I go out to eat. And I'm a lot of fun when I go out. I'm not drinking alcohol. I'm not eating sugar, but I'm fun at dinner. So I'll bring my own dessert, and I'll bring my own water now because I want my distilled or reverse osmosis water with minerals. I just tell the restaurant, I have a really sensitive diet and I can't eat a lot of food on your menu. So I brought my own dessert. If you can serve it to me, I'm happy to pay you a plating fee. No one's had any problem. They don't even charge me the plating fee. And they're very considerate. And so these seed oils, as you mentioned, these are basically oils that are high in omega-6 fatty acids, which are inflammatory at high levels. Most of us have high levels. They're fine in balance, but almost everyone's out of balance. And so people have too much omega-6, and this creates inflammation in the body. Number two, these oils are highly processed, usually at high heat, and they oxidize very quickly when exposed to heat and or light. And so basically that creates oxidative stress and damage in your body, which creates inflammation, increases long-term inflammation, and that is a major risk factor for Alzheimer's disease and most chronic diseases. And so when people eat these inflammatory seed oils, canola, sunflower, safflower, vegetable oil, think almost any seed oil aside from black seed oil, which is amazing for your health. But nobody's cooking with that. No restaurant is cooking with that. And I think 0 is the right number because it's so expensive and so healthy. No one's cooking with that. If they do, they will tell you. They'll say, look, this meal is $100 because you're using black seed oil. So they use these cheap, inexpensive, highly oxidized or oxidative oils that cause inflammation in our body. And so the way to avoid these is to avoid fried foods at all costs. Fried foods, Dave Asprey talked about this. He mentioned if someone offers you a French fry or a cigarette, you may be better off with the cigarette because it'll cause inflammation for 12 hours. Plus, you get the fun of nicotine, which is cognitive enhancer, versus a French fry, which will create inflammation in your body for like 12 to 24 hours. And it's not nearly as much fun as the cigarette. Now, please don't smoke. You can get nicotine through a gum patch or pill. And if you're smoking, please quit. It's really horrible for you, as you know. But fried foods are worse in many respects. And so avoid the fried foods. If you can, bring your own salad dressings or ask for or bring your own olive oil or something of that nature. And then be really, really clear and say, look, I have a food sensitivity. You don't need to say allergy. Say, listen, I have extreme food sensitivity to these types of oils, which are, you can say vegetable oils, canola oil. Say, what are the oils in these sauces? See if you can find a sauce that you like, or bring your own sauce. When I was keto, I went to a barbecue joint. I love barbecue sauce, and I really like barbecued meat. Unfortunately, I guess that's one of my vices. It's not healthy for you. It's often inflammatory. I love how you can eat barbecue. It's just the best.
I'm from Texas, so yeah, I'm right there with you.
So
I'm like barbecue
I went to school. I went to school at the University of Texas. So Salt Lick, right? The Salt Lick in Austin, Texas. All you can eat barbecue.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Right.
Oh yes.
I'm the skinny guy who walks in there, and I just pile on the meat, and they're like, "My gosh, that guy is like he ate half of our barbecue." So you can bring your own sauces. I brought my own keto-friendly sauce. You can bring your own sauces. You can bring your own water. You can bring your own desserts to restaurants. They're fine with it. Just say, look, I have a food sensitivity. I can't eat your sauces, and I can't eat your dessert. I brought some, and they're fine with it. So just bring your own stuff to be safe. Dr. David Perlmutter said that he buys olive oil as soon as he lands. in a new city. He'll go to the grocery store, buy a really expensive olive oil. He'll bring that to every restaurant because he doesn't trust their olive oil.
Yeah, I know most olive oil is fake anyways. But yeah, I just downloaded this really cool app called Seed Oil Scout, and you can find restaurants that aren't using seed oils, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
And tell us about the supplements that are brain protective. So what kind of supplements do you recommend to optimize brain functioning and perhaps even, preventing many forms of dementia?
Yeah, this is a great question. There's a lot of really powerful supplements. First, I just want to name a couple behaviors because these behaviors are more powerful than supplements and they're free. And so if you're just going to take supplements but not do these behaviors, you're missing out on the majority of benefits you can get for your brain. Number one is exercise. Exercise is medicine for your brain. It pumps fresh blood, oxygen, nutrients into the brain. It increases growth factors in the brain to facilitate the growth of new brain cells and new neural connections. Researchers, Kirk Erickson and colleagues at the University of Pittsburgh found that people who exercise grow actually a bigger brain than those who just do stretching in the morning. So exercise actually can help grow a bigger brain. It increases a growth factor called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. I'll share with you some supplements that also increase BDNF. So exercise, number one. Number two, sleep. We talked about that. Number three is the proper nutrition. Your brain outside of water is made primarily of fat. And so in order to repair the brain and to grow new brain cells, research shows from Dr. Elizabeth Gould at Princeton that we can grow new brain cells. Pretty much every mammal outside of bats can grow new brain cells, and we can grow new brain cells into our 90s. So you can grow new brain cells. I'm not saying you can fix the broken ones, but your brain can replace them. And so you want to eat healthy fats. This is like fish oil, 1,000 to 3,000 milligrams a day of EPA and DHA is a good start. You can take up to 5. If you have traumatic brain injury, you can consider more. So fish oil is a great supplement. Also eat lots of wild-caught salmon, sardines, herring. I love the herring from Whole Foods. My little nephews like the herring from Whole Foods, and they're like 7, so it tastes delicious. These foods are high in omega fatty acids, omega-3 fatty acids, and they're low in mercury. So you want the small fatty fish. You don't want like the tuna, the swordfish, the shark, and so forth. So healthy foods to nourish the brain, exercise, and then sleep. These are essential. And then get your early morning sunshine. Just walk outside. It helps set your circadian rhythm of the day, which improves sleep quality. And it also is a mood enhancer. So those things are more powerful than any supplements I can give you. Now, I'll give you, let's start with the most controversial one. I got attacked for this one because I shared the science that this one's actually reversed Alzheimer's in clinical trials in Italy.
Robert, you're just always stirring that pot on TikTok.
And I'm really not trying to upset anyone. I really just want to help as many people as possible. And you've experienced this yourself. When you help a lot of people, some people get upset. Dr. Andrew Huberman, neuroscientist from Stanford, probably the world's most famous scientist, he was attacked. And his podcast, the number one health and wellness podcast, is all about free tools to improve your health. Well, of course he's going to be attacked. He's giving people free information to empower them to live healthier lives and tell them to drink less alcohol, get your sleep, get your exercise, do work that you're passionate about. Yeah, people who do good work in the world get attacked. So this one was very controversial. It's called aniracetam, ANIRACETAM. This is a former prescription drug that's available in the United States. Without a prescription. It's legal to buy, it's legal to sell, it's legal to possess. It is not legal to do basically any advertising for it because there haven't been FDA-approved clinical trials on it, so no claims can be made. So basically anyone who sells this, the FDA, FTC, get a little aggressive with them. But it's perfectly legal to buy and sell and possess. There's a lot of great research on it. I just published an article in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease, the top journal in the field of Alzheimer's, showing that aniracetam likely reduces amyloid plaque in the brain. This is what the vast majority of the Alzheimer's drugs have been trying to do. They've been trying to reduce amyloid plaque. Now we know curcumin does that. That's another great supplement for the brain. Curcumin reduces the accumulation of plaque in the brain, and aniracetam likely also reduces the accumulation of amyloid plaque in the brain. And so research studies out of Italy, a double-blind, placebo-controlled study out of Italy found that in people with early-stage Alzheimer's disease, so everyone diagnosed with Alzheimer's, those who took aniracetam improved their memory over the course of the study. It was a 6-month study, whereas the placebo group declined, which is what you'd expect. These people were diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. They all should be declining. The aniracetam group increased. Amazing. I take aniracetam to improve cognitive function. Dave Asprey, I want to thank him. He's the one who published about aniracetam in some of his books. He's been taking it for years. It's a really great cognitive enhancer. It likely increases growth factors in the brain. It increases acetylcholine activity. Very, very safe, taking at the right doses. Maximum is 1,500 milligrams a day. Start lower, like 5. Please consult your medical doctor. It is a pharmaceutical. This is not a supplement. It is a pharmaceutical. And it's quite hard to find in the United States. Outside the U.S., it's a prescription drug. So that's one that people can look into. It's the most controversial. I wouldn't start there, but I wanted to give you something interesting. The best place to start are the foundational things. These are fish oil and B complex and magnesium. Our brain needs healthy fat, our brain needs B vitamins, and our brain needs magnesium. Most people are deficient in these things. Most people are not getting enough healthy fats. Most people are not getting enough magnesium. Or research from the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, said that 7 out of 10 Americans are not eating enough magnesium-rich foods. So 7 out of 10 of us would benefit from a magnesium supplement, if not more. So magnesium, and then research from Dr. David Smith at Oxford has found that that those who take a fish oil and a B complex vitamin, you need both, have a 30% reduction in the risk of Alzheimer's disease. So I would start with these fundamental things. They're very safe. There's a lot of science behind them. They're a great place to start. Of course, check with your medical doctor, especially if you're taking any prescription drugs. A competent medical doctor. Let me say that. A competent medical doctor who's current on the science. So that list, again, is a fish oil supplement, 1,000 to 3,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA per day. These are for healthy adults. A B complex vitamin, a methylated B complex vitamin, and magnesium. You can do magnesium glycinate. That's where I like to start. It's the least expensive, very bioavailable. You can also do magnesium threonate, which is much more expensive, but that can cross the blood-brain barrier. It's a smaller molecule, and people get great benefit from that.
I want to give thanks to one of our sponsors, Ionize Me Max Ionic Foot Baths. So these are the foot baths that I personally use and recommend to all of my patients. And if you're looking for an effective way to detox the body that's easy, that you can do at home, doesn't take any time out of your day, and you pull all of these toxins in your body into the water, you want to be doing a foot bath. So these are fantastic to flood ions into your body through the feet and neutralize toxins. And they can help with pain, with fatigue, with brain fog, with weight loss even, with swelling. They're great at reducing swelling, getting the lymphatics flowing, and giving you liver support by pulling out toxins through the feet and into the water. And they dramatically increase mobilization and flow of toxins into your urine and stool for 2 to 3 days after you do the foot bath. So they're not just coming out in the water. Get yours today at healthandmed.com. Yeah, any other supplements like, mushrooms or any other things you recommend?
Absolutely. So curcumin is a great one. Curcumin reduces amyloid plaque in both animals, in animal studies. It improves memory in human studies, highly anti-inflammatory. It's great for, it's also great for reducing inflammation in your joints if you have arthritis. Curcumin is extremely safe. I've been taking curcumin for years. I personally don't feel it, but based upon the science, I'm taking it pretty much every day. I take supplements, knowing this is helping reduce my inflammation and being protective of my brain. Make sure you have black pepper with your curcumin to enhance absorption. That's really important. One of my absolute favorite supplements for the brain is lion's mane. Now, full disclosure, I have a lion's mane supplement. And so I'm extremely biased as far as that. So I am financially invested in lion's mane. But let me tell you about the benefits of lion's mane and what to look for in great lion's mane supplements. And then, Wendy, I want to give your viewers a discount on my lion's mane if they want to try it 100% risk-free. So lion's mane is a medicinal mushroom used in ancient Chinese and Japanese medicine. And we're just now learning in Western medicine how powerful it is for the brain. Here are just some of the benefits of lion's mane. Number one, lion's mane improves memory. It improves memory in both animal studies and in human studies. So rats will remember the maze better. Humans will perform better on a memory task. Number two, lion's mane can even help grow new brain cells. It does this by increasing a growth factor in the brain called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. That's a growth factor in the brain that facilitates the growth of new brain cells and new neural connections. Exercise also increases BDNF. Lion's mane also reduces depression and anxiety. There's a really great study. It's the cookie study. I think it was 2012 or 2015. They gave people lion's mane cookies. So you either got a placebo cookie or a lion's mane cookie for 30 days. And people who had the lion's mane cookie had less depression at the end of the 30 days.
I want a lion's mane cookie.
I know. Isn't that great? I've been playing around in the kitchen. I've been making this great honey with curcumin, cinnamon. Cinnamon's another great supplement for the brain, black pepper, and I've been adding some lion's mane mushrooms to it. My brain feels so good, and it tastes great.
I found lion's mane at my this grocery store called Central Market. I was like, oh my God, I could cook lion's mane mushrooms.
Yes.
They're not cheap, but I bought some and just sauteed them in some ponzu sauce. It's so good. Oh my God.
Yeah, lion's mane mushrooms are great edible mushrooms. They got like a meaty texture to them. So you can chop them up, saute them. I got a great lion's mane um, curcumin, lion's mane cumin recipe. It's really, really good. So lion's mane mushrooms are delicious to eat. They are expensive. They're like $8 a pack at Whole Foods. But a lion's mane supplement, that might cost you 50 cents, $1 a day, whereas eating lion's mane mushrooms is going to cost you at least $4 a day. Plus, you can't travel with them. So lion's mane supplements are really an inexpensive way to get the benefits of lion's mane. But please eat lots of mushrooms. Li Fang and colleagues from Singapore found that those who eat mushrooms 3 times a week or more have approximately a 60% reduction in the risk of Alzheimer's disease. So eat just lots of mushrooms. Make sure you cook them. Lion's mane mushrooms are one of the best for the brain, and it's one of the most powerful supplements. So lion's mane mushrooms improve memory. They increase growth factors in the brain to facilitate the growth of new brain cells and new neural connections. They reduce depression and anxiety. And my favorite benefit of lion's mane, it reduces inflammation. So it protects the brain from Alzheimer's disease, because inflammation is one of the major risk factors of Alzheimer's disease. Lion's mane mushrooms also enhance mood. They improve your mood, and they improve sleep. That's my favorite benefit. I had years of trouble sleeping. I have ADHD. I was taking stimulant medication, and I would just stay up late working. I'm a very curious person, so I'd stay up late. I just had tremendous trouble sleeping. Started taking this lion's mane supplement about 3 years ago, and my sleep has just been so much better, and I get vivid dreams. So my dreams are really intense, and they're really fun. And so, I'll wake up and I'll have had an adventure for a couple hours when I sleep. So lion's mane mushrooms, great for sleep. It helps you fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and fall back to sleep. The fall back to sleep is my favorite. I'll wake up in the middle of the night sometimes, and I'll just lay there, and I'll be able to stay calm. And I could just, I don't need to get up. I don't need to do anything. I just lay there and just allow my body to fall back to sleep. And so that's tremendously helped my sleep.
And they're adaptogenic also. They're great for stress and stress reduction,
Yes.
which definitely harms your brain too.
Yes, and then they're great during the day. I get I get a little stressed at 4 o'clock for some reason, and I can take lion's mane. Then it reduces my stress, and I'm able to continue working. I feel a lot better. They improve memory, so I'll take them if I'm at a conference, if I'm studying, if I'm learning something, and then I'll take them before bed to enhance my sleep. Now, I do want to tell people this is true for pretty much all supplements. It's good to take time off. Lion's mane in particular. I take lion's mane 5 to 6 days a week. I take 1 day off a week, and then I like to take a week off every 3 months or every 4 months. It's good to stay sensitive, and you want to make sure you're getting the right dose. And you want to start low. You want kind of the minimal effective dose. You don't want a massive dose. Some people report negative side effects with very large doses, whether it's stomach ache, whether it's headache, or whether they report negative side effects with these very large doses. Like I've seen people taking 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 milligrams a day, way too big. You want to start about 250 to 500 milligrams per day for a healthy adult. You can take more, but start slowly. Make sure it agrees with you. It agrees with your stomach, that you're feeling good. And then if you want to take more, then you can take more from there. But don't start at these big doses. It's not helpful. It's not necessary. And it's not going to get you the best benefit. So start 250 to 500 milligrams a day of lion's mane. So my lion's mane mushroom is a blend of 10 medicinal mushrooms. So it's not just lion's mane. It's reishi, shiitake, maitake, turkey tail, chaga, which are blended to have the synergistic effect to enhance memory. And then it also reduce stress and improve sleep.
I love that. I am obsessed with mushrooms. I love eating mushrooms. I supplement with mushrooms. I take lion's mane also. It's one of the staples in my supplement regime as well. And so
what benefits have you noticed taking lion's mane?
I started taking it for stress reduction, just to manage my cortisol levels and manage my stress. But I love the immune protective effects as well. I mean, there's just so many benefits. I love mushrooms for their adaptogenic properties and the beta glucans in them, which is very, feeds the immune system. And so I have mushroom blend in my daily detox supplement as well, because they're just so beneficial and great for detoxification. I just can't. There's so many benefits that you mentioned. It's like half the podcast.
It's amazing. It's like it's like the benefits of exercise. Not only does exercise improve your mood, it reduces stress, reduces anxiety. you feel better, better self-image, better posture. You're going to choose to eat healthier food. You're going to sleep better. There's so many benefits to exercise. Similarly, there's so many benefits to mushrooms. There's so many benefits to lion's mane in particular. It works on so many different levels by reducing inflammation, improving memory, reducing stress and anxiety. I mean, just reducing inflammation is a massive thing. Reducing stress and anxiety, that's another massive thing. And so, yeah, it's a really powerful, very safe, very effective mushroom, very effective supplement that's helping so many people with their sleep and with their stress and with their memory.
And where can we get the mushroom blend that you sell, that you recommend?
So my lion's mane is called Roar Lion's Mane, ROAR Lion's Mane. You can get that at roarlionsmane.com. And then, Wendy, I'd like to offer your viewers a special discount. I'd like to give them either free shipping, or if they get the upgrade package, I'll give you $10 off. So if you get the upgrade package, it comes with free shipping. So I still want to give them something too, so you can get an additional $10 off. So your coupon code is just Wendy. So
okay, great, easy.
So at checkout, just enter Wendy, and then you'll see either discount for free shipping, even free international shipping. So ship anywhere in the world for free. And then if you get the larger package, we'll give you an additional $10 off as well, just as a means of saying thank you. By the way, it comes with a 6-month unconditional money-back guarantee. So we want you to try it, knowing that if it doesn't work, I'm happy to refund you. I've like a 2.5% refund rate, and so a lot of people get benefit. And if you don't, I really want to make sure that you're taken care of. So I'll refund you or send you another supplement, whatever you'd like. But I want people to try this because it's helping so many people. And it's so great for your brain, and it's so great for your stress and your sleep. It's got so many benefits, and it's natural. It's from a beautiful mushroom that tastes great, and it looks like the mane of a lion. I really want to share this with as many people as I can.
Yeah, and I agree. It's been really important to incorporate mushrooms into your diet, into your supplement protocols as well, because there are so many benefits. It's just we talked about so many. Well, Robert, thanks so much for coming on the show. I always have so much fun talking to you. I love your energy and your spirit and your passion for helping people to protect their brains and to prevent Alzheimer's, which you need to start decades before you're getting into your later years. That process begins decades before an actual diagnosis.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Wendy. And so for those of you who want more free content from me, my name's Robert Love. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram. If you just search Robert Love, my handle's Robert WB Love, but you'll see a picture of me. I'm probably wearing a black shirt. So I'm available there, and I have lots of free content on there that shares about improving your brain health, improving your memory, and reducing the risk of Alzheimer's disease.
Okay, fantastic. And go to roarlionsmane.com. Get Robert's the coupon code for $10 off or free shipping. Again, Robert, thanks for coming on. I'm Dr. Wendy Myers. Thanks for tuning in every week. I've been doing this for 11 years. Yeah, and I so love you guys coming along on this journey with me, because my only hope with doing this show is to help give you those missing pieces of the puzzle, to help you figure out what your health issues are, your underlying root symptoms, so that you can feel good. You deserve to feel good. So thanks for tuning in.
The Myers Detox podcast is created and hosted by Wendy Myers. This podcast is for information purposes only. Statements and views expressed on this podcast are not medical advice. This podcast, including Wendy Myers and the producers, disclaim responsibility for any possible adverse effects from the use of information contained herein. Opinions of guests are their own, and this podcast does not endorse or accept responsibility for statements made by guests. This podcast does not make any representations or warranties about guest qualifications or credibility. Individuals on this podcast may have direct or indirect financial interest in products or services referred to herein. If you think you have a medical problem, consult a licensed physician.